It's summer of 2018, you wake up, mom's making breakfast, you look outside and the sun is hitting just right. You know you gotta go to your grandma's house later, but the new Season 5 update just dropped, and you have to check it out. The brand new map and everything. Mom leaves for work, you turn on the game and your jaws drop after watching that epic trailer. You load into the new 3D lobby, check out the battle pass, and wish you saved those V-Bucks from last season instead of spending it on a skin. But either way, you hop into a game, explore the rifts, new vehicle, and even the squad hops on to join in on the fun with you. Life was good. Time passes by and suddenly, mom's back from work and it's time to head to grandma's. No worries though, you'll be back on later that night, so in the meantime, you check out your favorite YouTubers' videos on the brand new season and hop off the game. 7 years later pass by, and now you gotta get up and get ready to go to work. After a long shift, you hop on the game and play some solos, but something feels off. You take a break, scroll through Twitter, and realize something. It's been 7 years since Season 5 of Fortnite came out. Where'd all that time go, and what has happened to the game? Well, that's what I want to talk about in today's video. How's it going, everyone? It's TrulyMystic, and in today's video, I wanted to take a shallow dive into what happened to Fortnite over the past couple of years and why it feels different compared to how it felt back then. Without further ado, let's get into it. The prime years of Fortnite that many people consider are the years 2018 to 2020. Personally, I would include 2017 as well, but the game didn't really go viral until 2018, so that's that. Now, when taking a look at why Fortnite feels different nowadays, there's actually a lot that goes into it. The biggest point people like to bring up is growing up, but I would quickly like to get rid of that argument. Yes, in life, we grow, and we might find things less appealing or interesting as we get older. Especially with the burden of more responsibilities, finding the time to really get invested to a game can be rather difficult. But just because we grew doesn't mean that the younger kids can't get into the game. Kids who still have the free time and interest that we once had when we were younger. So while that does play a huge role since we were the pioneers, that isn't the full answer. The biggest thing that sticks out about classic Fortnite is the cartoony art style of the game. If you were to compare an image from Chapter 6 of Fortnite to an image from Chapter 1, night and day difference. In recent years, Epic has been striving to achieve a level of realism for the game that wasn't prevalent in the earlier days of it. The shift from Chapter 1 to Chapter 2 was subtle, but improved a lot of textures and gave more variety to props in the game that weren't just ripped straight from Save the World. From Chapter 2 to Chapter 3, there wasn't a huge difference besides a nice overhaul to VFX, functionality, physics, and animation. But from Chapter 3 to Chapter 4, the difference was drastic. Improved graphics, lighting, textures, pretty much everything. A full leap forward thanks to the upgraded engine. This had to have been the peak for Fortnite graphics, and this style was beloved by many, bringing in a nice blend of cartoony and realism to the game. Can't forget about OG2, as this took that blend to a whole nother level, taking all the vibrant aspects of Chapter 4 and mixing it with classic Fortnite style, immensely improving what many already believed to be perfect. The shift from Chapter 4 to Chapter 5, however, was one that many did not see coming. Colors and lighting were toned down, and more attention was put into making the game feel as realistic as possible. Not too many people were a fan of this direction, so for Fortnite Chapter 6, they went with a mix of Chapter 4 and Chapter 5. Not too many improvements in anything, but taking what worked from the last two chapters and mashing them, which leads us to now. The game didn't really make a huge jump ever since the jump from Chapter 3 to 4. Even the OG mode that we have now feels slightly off from Fortnite Season OG. Like, they try to replicate the style as close as they could, but some changes had to have happened between then and Fortnite OG Chapter 1 Season 1 that I either thought was better for the mode or couldn't control. With them leaning into a more realistic route, the game feels more serious, which really isn't the tone that Fortnite should be going for. That originality gets lost, and when playing, a lot of players may experience a disconnect from the game that they used to play to the game that they play now, even though it's the same game. It's an iconic trait that the game blew up from. Epic tampering with it too much, especially in the wrong ways, ruins people's perception of the game. But why does the cartoony style work so well, and what makes it so special? The design choice to make the game feel cartoony actually plays a big role into why people of any age can feel connected to it. Remember when I said that age doesn't play a huge factor into why Fortnite feels different now? That's because anyone, whether you're younger or older, can still enjoy and feel connected to bright colors, funny animations, and goofy looking skins. It taps into that same nostalgia that we used to get from things like cartoons or older video games, and still fits in a style for kids to like as well. But the style of Fortnite changing isn't the only thing that makes Fortnite feel different. The simplicity plays a role as well. Right now, Fortnite is hectic with everything they have on the modern maps. All the modes, all the chaos, but back then, things were a lot more simpler to indulge in. Let's be real, there's a lot going on right now with the story, the loophole, the collabs, and with all the different modes. I mean, sheesh. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. But if we're talking why Fortnite feels different, then all of this stuff definitely plays a role. The simpler times were a lot more easier to follow for everything, and you might think that simpler means less content or games feeling more boring, but it doesn't have to be the case. An ever-changing map every year, with what feels like drastically different loopholes every season, can get hard to get used to and feel easy to burn out from, just because there's so much going on. But how they handled Chapter 1 felt pretty good, and consistency helped a lot with it. Weekly updates, meaning there was always something new to look forward to, like pretty much every day. Plus, the updates weren't as big as they are now, so stimulation-wise, it felt just right. Always something to keep you on your toes, but not too much to get you feeling overwhelmed. A lot of items and weapons feel almost foreign and don't have the same level of familiarity they did from back in the day. So I would say the rate at which things came out back in the day definitely plays a big role into why Fortnite feels different nowadays. And finally, I want to mention a lot of the other little things, as I know I'll probably hear it in the comment section saying things like, you didn't talk about this point or that point. We lost a lot of fan favorite content creators over the years, like Fearless, C-Day, Daquan, Hamlins, even Tfue. With the absence of some of them, Fortnite just doesn't feel the same from the content side of things. Inflation of prices definitely is a big point of contention. Everyone wants to say collabs, but I think we're good with that at the moment. Yes, we get a bit more than we did back in the day, but they do help the game get more publicity. If anything, we need even bigger collabs, as long as they don't become too overwhelming. But yeah, that's gonna be it for today's video. A lot has changed since then, and the game feels different due to a bunch of factors, but personally, if you were to ask me, I'd chalk it down to the rate at which updates come out now, and the classic cartoony charm that the game once had. Of course, feel free to comment down below and let me know if you guys agree, or do you have your own opinions as to why Fortnite feels different now. I genuinely love to know. I will say that it isn't all doom and gloom. The game has to evolve and change just like we do, but I think there is a way for Epic to bring back that nostalgia feeling forever without completely relying on OG. Anyways, I want to thank all of you for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and use code TrulyMystic in the item shop if you would like to support me there. I hope you all have a wonderful day or night, and I will catch you in the next one. It's TrulyMystic. Happy 7-year anniversary, Season 5, and until then, peace.